surprise. Guess I should have known.
Hello, thanks for clicking on this video, especially this video, because let's face it, it's unlikely that YouTube is going to recommend it to you because I'm about to call out some crap that their PR team is peddling to the UK and therefore the rest of the world. Now, here's the backstory. The other day, I posted a video about cyberstalking and why to take it seriously. And while I was doing research for that video, I came upon an article about a convicted stalker in the UK. Now, this stalker, it's a pretty interesting story. I might cover it on its own by itself, but his name is Alex Belfield. He was a radio personality in the UK that got embroiled in all kinds of lawsuits against all the employers that were firing him, and eventually he got convicted of stalking and sentenced to 5 years. Okay, so I come across this article as I'm doing my research for my video, and it talks about how this stalker still has a YouTube channel even after being sentenced to 5 years for stalking. And the author of the article included a comment attributed to a YouTube spokesperson. For those of you who don't know, my career was as a spokesperson for Google, Apple, and Twitter, and lots of other companies. So I always perk up and I always look with a little bit more educated scrutiny when somebody is providing a comment to a journalist. I'm going to read this statement to you, and then I'm going to tell you why the statement from YouTube PR made me go, what? A spokesperson for YouTube said, monetization on the Voice of Reason channel, that's the stalker's channel, remains suspended for violating our creator responsibility policy. That's great. You suspended their monetization. So he's not getting paid to stalk people. But let's keep going and address what you say next. If we see that a creator's off-platform behavior harms our users, community, employees, or ecosystem, we take action to protect the community. Are you kidding me? If anyone from YouTube, Google, or either of their PR teams is watching this video, I invite you to scroll through my channel and multiple other channels and videos that are documenting ongoing harassment and stalking by YouTubers. And I talk about active harassment and stalking specifically in the YouTube true crime community. The people I document here not only stalk other YouTubers, they stalk true crime victims and their families right in the moment when they're going through their most intense grief and scrutiny after a true crime is committed. There are many monetized channel owners who have active stalking orders against them. These stalking orders range from 1 year to a lifetime, okay? And they're still using their channels to create hostile online environments for protected parties. And anyone else who gets in their crosshairs ends up on that harassment line, because that's the stalking mentality. People with a stalking mentality get fixated on people and will keep going until they face real legal or financial consequences. True crime is not the only community that has this problem, like I said. So for YouTube to tell a UK journalist that if they see that a creator's off-platform behavior harms their users, they take action to protect their community is complete bullshit. And when your PR team is authorized to go out and make an official statement that's so counter to the actual lived experience of millions of people on YouTube, and also by other people who are observing this behavior on YouTube. And also, let me tell you, it is a hellish lived experience on YouTube when you become the target of cyber harassment and stalking. When you say those things, you are displaying a number of big problems. It's a problem to be so out of tune with the actual experience on YouTube that you're willing to portray the complete opposite to the press. It's a problem to say something to the press that cannot be backed up with reality. And especially when it's very easy for the press to go on to that very platform and see for themselves, just do a little search and see for themselves how much stalking is rampant using YouTube as a weapon and then carried offline. It is a real thing. So It's also a problem to treat this growing issue of stalking and harassment on your platform with such flippancy that you just cut and paste the statement that was probably written 5 years ago. I don't know, but who knows? It seems like it was written 5 years ago. There's a certain point in every PR person's career when the press comes to you with hard questions, and when the hard questions get harder to answer, and the hard questions are coming with more frequency and more evidence to back it up. That's the time to go to your management and say, hey, there is a real problem here. And it's not going to be fixed by saying another PR statement that we made 5 years ago. We can't keep putting our heads in the sand, or this is going to catch up to us in a real way, in ways that we don't want it to catch up to us. This is a predictable dilemma. Okay, you're at that point right now with the rampant harassment on your platform. The national press has had this issue on their radar for quite some time now, but it's starting to really ramp up, especially now that Google's AI chief has left and is basically doing a press tour to tell everyone that AI is a bigger threat than climate change. I wholeheartedly stand behind that sentiment, and I'll probably do a video about that as well. The national press is also calling attention to how YouTube is allowing true crime victims to get harassed and slandered for views and getting paid for it. A recent Vanity Fair article went into grave detail about how YouTubers descended upon Moscow, Idaho after the murders of 4 innocent college students in that town. And a recent Rolling Stone article talks about how a YouTuber LARPing as a private investigator has scammed true crime victims out of money and then turn around and terrorize them using his platform. Now, I know there are multiple civil lawsuits against YouTube right now, and these are related to how the platform is used to cyberstalk. This is in the press workstream, okay? So look at the landscape ahead of you. As a PR person, virtual PR person if you're watching, look at the landscape ahead of you. You know this is a problem. You've known this is a problem. And now Google's head of AI has become a news-generating whistleblower. The national press is noticing more and more that there is a public health hazard. And they're also noticing the cognitive dissonance between what the company says and what is actually happening. There is nothing that will trigger people to take another look at something, another glance at something, than when a company issues a statement that is so off base that it bears looking at again. And that's what the press will probably do. A smart, strategic communications professional would look at that landscape ahead and say, we need to get in front of this. We're in for a huge public backlash. Getting in front of this means that you publicly admit that there is a problem and that you are earnestly working on it, urgently working on it. You see the impact it's having on your product, which is the people you're selling advertising against, right? And then come back and show actual progress, not just words that are written and approved, but actual product and policy changes that prove you're improving things, backed up by analytics. And we know you're good at those analytics, YouTube and Google. It simply will not stand for you to say you actively protect the community, because you actively do not. And I'm sorry, that's just the truth. Thank you for watching this video. Please remember to subscribe and consider becoming a member. And please remember not to harass people online or anywhere. You have no idea what's going on in their private lives. Peace out.